So the popular "Go to Sleep Jeff the Killer" story is one that everyone thinks is the original, but it isn't. True stories know that it's a video from 2008, but there's a ton of lore the original creator Cesar has conjured in DeviantArt, 4chan, newgrounds, shit like that. So I put together a little timeline and overview. I'm going to start with the reading of the original movie. I haven't seen any YouTubers cover this shit before. I've watched a shit ton of fucking Jeff the Killer deep dives. None of them really give you the timeline of the original canon. They just kind of bring up the video. So that's what I'm finna do here. I will make an amendment in like part two and stuff like that if I ever find more. This shit's kind of you gotta dig for it. So I probably don't have everything, but I have a very good timeline. I have a very good overview. So we're gonna learn the OG, the original canon, the real Jeff the Killer. None of that high schooler bully bullshit. We talk about slipping on bars of soap. So let's get into it. Here's a little story about Jeff and his brother Lou. You might be wondering how his face looks that way. It's a long story. I'll tell it to you soon. Jeff's brother Lou. He was very popular and a ladies' man. He's a very nice guy once you have a beer with him. Jeff in his mid-teen years. In this picture, he was teasing Lou by wearing his glasses. Jeff was indeed doing the world a favor and killing the humans that infest this world. He'll fucking gut you. Me and Lou took this picture by... No. No, no, no. This is the whole story so far. Jeff was hauling a gallon of acid into the bathroom to clean out his bathtub. He slipped on a bar of soap in which he fell, and the acid splashed all over his face. Damaging his face, the neighbors heard his cries for help and took him to the hospital. Lou was at work, but came over to the hospital as soon as he heard what happened to Jeff. Never again was Jeff the same. So that wraps up the original canon. So as you can tell, what everyone kind of associates with like a creepypasta wiki story really just started out as like a shit post on Windows Movie Maker, kind of like the video I'm making right now. So I figure we'll go over the canon stats and overview, and then we'll get into the timeline. So Jeff is described as 7'6", cut and lanky. Also described as, this is a direct quote, the kind of guy you'd want to share intoxicants with. He's not superhuman, but he has very high strength. He's power scaled as, in quotes, this is from the creator, can take multiple blows to the head from Mike Tyson in his prime. His nails have the strength of claws that are able to scrape bone with ease. He has acid burned hands, which got rid of all of his fingertips, so he kind of doesn't leave evidence behind. He's a family guy. The real Jeff didn't kill his family. He actually kept a good relationship with them throughout the canon. They're described as kind of like helping him cover up the murders in the beginning. But really, most of like the stories and kind of lore you'll find out shows that Jeff's most likely just like running around with his brother Lou. He speaks in the third person a lot, and that's interesting. So if you remember the spider picture, it says, "I took this picture with Lou, by the way." That's the only time you hear anything spoken in first person. So in a lot of threads, he'll speak in third person while kind of role playing as Jeff the Killer. So really, the upload was Jeff speaking about his own lore in the third person. And he was born in Jersey. I guess that's an important stat. All right. Now we get into the timeline. In November of 2007, no specific month or day, but in November of 2007, Jeff slipped on a bar of soap and spilled acid all over his face while trying to clean the bathroom. He received inpatient treatment for quote unquote roughly 10 months. In October 2008, he starts tweaking, and this is when his insanity kind of starts to begin. He doesn't have any like hallucinations or anything like that. He's just kind of, I guess you would say like brain fogged and like manic, kind of that kind of deal. In November 10th of 2008, we got specific dates now. Jeff's murderous schizophrenia starts manifesting. So this is when he starts hearing things telling him to harm other people, to kill them, to kind of rid the world of what infests it. There's never any like clear manifesto on what's like an infesting parasite versus like someone that you shouldn't kill. I don't know. So November 11th of 2008, Jeff the Killer kills for the first time, believing that it's for the greater good. March 12th, 2009, Lou kills for the first time to protect his brother from incarceration at a hotel. Now, Lou doesn't like the killing. He doesn't agree with it. He thinks it's kind of fucked, but he kind of has his loyalty to his brother to the point where he'll help him with everything just because it's his brother and he wants to help, but he doesn't agree with it. In May 12th, 2009, Jeff kills a couple who end up being parents to a bounty hunter on par with Duke from Jason Goes to Hell. Nobody else could seem to figure out what's going on. Whenever the police got close, they got killed. So, like, even the police don't really know, but this guy, he knows quite a lot, as you will see. December 20th, 2009, the bounty hunter corners Jeff in an alleyway and makes an attempt at Jeff's life, but Jeff upped the stick and aired him out. So he shot the man in his chest. This Jeff the Killer is not afraid to use firearms. February 5th, 2010, the bounty hunter miraculously survived being gunned down and tracked Lou and Jeff down at their house, right? And he starts to kind of plan on how he's gonna, you know, go in there and get revenge for the murder of his parents. April 2nd, 2010, the bounty hunter pulls up on Jeff and attempts to deliver Punisher brand justice, resulting in Jeff beating his ass and keeping him prisoner for 3 months until he escaped. January 7th, 2010, the bounty hunter starts a training arc to take them on again. Now, sadly, folks, it ends on a cliffhanger. The only comprehensive sources for all this stuff, that's it. Like, that's literally it. And very soon after that part in the timeline, which I'm assuming is probably when these posts were made, is when we get the go to sleep story. And Jeff the Killer becomes a famous character in a really strange rewrite that doesn't credit the original work. So it's kind of plagiarism, but I mean, as you can tell, it's a completely different story. It just kind of has the same characters in it. But that's it. That's literally it. Now, there is a Reddit thread I will link, but it's alleged from someone who supposedly knows Cesar, and it was like a lore update. I'm not gonna cover it because I don't know for sure that it is true. There's a lot of shit in there that I think is really cool and like kind of retcons some of the more cringy shit, like that free candy van. So I would want it to be canon, and if I could ever get officially like confirmed, then I will definitely upload it in a part 2. Or if I find any other fun little bits and pieces, I'll definitely make a part 2 to this. But that is, I mean, that's it. It just ends with the bounty hunter starting a trading arc. So did the bounty hunter, get his revenge, and that's why we haven't heard from Jeff? A lot of this shit was roleplay from Jeff's perspective. So I mean, maybe maybe he really just spun back on the ass. I don't know. But that is the official lore, and now it's out there. I really wanted to make this video just because I couldn't find any of this information on YouTube, which is where I would have preferred to just watch it all explained in a video than go around a bunch of old newgrounds and deviant art shit. So I figured I'd be that person, I'd be the one to kind of make this digestible. So anybody who kind of wants to know what the original Jeff the Killer was really like, what the lore is, they could find this and know that real shit. None of that fan fiction, award-winning creepypasta rewrite bullshit. That's just that real shit. All right, I don't know what fucking I'm gonna do for outros of these yet, so I'm just gonna go ahead and press spacebar.